Welcome to the Los Alamitos Army Airfield. On behalf of the Los Alamitos Army Airfield Aviation Facebook group, we got about 1,000 members, and we're all very in tune with what's going on at our local airport here. And we're very excited to have you here with the Raptor, which is the first time it's been in the Pacific Airshow, and only the second time I think it's ever been on this airfield. It was here for the Super Bowl flyover.
Right.
So anyway, so I'll just start off, if you don't mind, introducing yourself to the group, and then we'll just talk a little bit about some things.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm Captain Kelly Ziegler, call sign 0. Been flying the F-22 for about 3 years now. Combat ready fighter pilot in the 27th Fighter Squadron, and then doing a couple shows with the demo team as kind of a part-time deal.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about your call sign 0 and how you got
Gotta
that,
ask
if
me
you
later,
don't
gotta ask me
mind?
later.
Everybody has. I had to ask you that.
Yeah.
You can deny to respond if you'd like. You have that
I'll
option.
pass on that one. I'll pass on that
Okay,
one.
that's fine. I figured it's a good one to ask it. Maybe there's a great story behind that, but I'm sure there is. Well, yeah, here at Los Alamitos will be over the beach, or here in Huntington Beach will be over the beach. Is that going to create a lot more vapor? I'm an aviation photographer, and I want to talk to you a little bit about vapor, what you do to create it, how important that is to your show, and a little bit about afterburners, and anything you can talk about aviation photography, things that would look good for us.
Yeah. The vapor really just depends on the weather. I think humidity has a large part to do with that. So hopefully the conditions are right to get some good shots there. Afterburner, definitely be some of that to take photos of. And then also for this show, RaZZ will be dropping flares as well, which would be an awesome opportunity for any photographers out there.
You know what? I'm just going to wait 1 second for that Hornet to take off. We also love banks, as we just saw there. Banks are great for photography, and there's a lot of people that will be in that park over there for your information.
All right.
And that brings up the thought in my mind, will you be flying in the show?
So I will not be flying the air show. So RaZZ, the demo pilot, he's the only one qualified to fly the actual demo.
Okay.
As an F-22 pilot, we're qualified to do a lot of those maneuvers. We just have to be a little bit further away from the ground when we do them. So
Okay.
he has a special qualification to fly those down at a lower altitude.
So will you be in the air at all over this weekend? Any sort
I'll
of
be
flights you'll be
flying
doing?
I'll be flying the jet back to Vegas on Monday, but I don't think I'll be, unfortunately, not be flying
Okay.
during the air show at all. So.
Well, I'm sure maybe next year. I don't know how it works for you guys, but I'm sure you'd be great doing it. Do you practice doing the air shows as well?
No, I mean, like I said, we do some of the same maneuvers. We just have to be higher up, and then some of them we actually use for tactical employment as well. So not just for show, all the maneuvers that RaZZ is doing. So.
You mentioned something very intriguing to me, is that this gentleman here is going to be dropping some flares. Is that something that's unusual for an air show? You can hop in if you want.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
If you'd like to. Yeah. And you could even answer that. I'm not trying to step on your interview, but you just happen to walk by. What about the flares this week?
Yeah, so this is the first year in F-22 Demo Team history that we've dropped flare off the aircraft. We do it at overwater shows and then a select few overland military bases, assuming they meet some pretty stringent safety requirements. So typically overwater is our best bet. We will be doing that this weekend over Huntington Beach.
That is super awesome for me to hear, and all my aviation photographer friends will love that, because that is a money shot.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
other money shots, but that's a rare one, because I know it's not normal to drop flares in an air show, as far as I know, and like
Absolutely.
you're talking about. So will you be doing that in every performance? Is that the plan?
Saturday and Sunday performances, so we'll save them. We've got each jet, we have 2 aircraft here. Each is loaded out with flare. We don't bring any extra, we just have what's on the airplane. So we'll dump all the flares off one aircraft Saturday and then the other on Sunday. Yep.
Wow, so that's very important information. That's really great. I know a lot of people I'm going to tell about, and will listen to this interview, and we'll be very stoked to hear that. So, will there just be? Can you talk to us a little bit about? Will there be one pass that you're doing that, or will there be multiple passes you'll be dropping
Multiple,
flares?
Yeah. Our governing regulation specifies what maneuvers we're allowed to drop flare on. We like to do it on a lot of the high or extreme angle of attack maneuvers like power loop, pedal turn, where we're actually falling almost slower than the flares are falling in the sky. So it's pretty fun flying it. I can look over and see the flares falling next to me. But we think it gives, again, the money shot element, and also just with the F-22 maneuvering in relation to the flares being dispensed, you get a better appreciation for what the aircraft's doing up there. So
That's something a lot of us will be looking forward to. I really appreciate you sharing with us that with us. I want to get back to you, Zero, in just a minute, but since if you're here, just a minute, if you don't mind. Well, yeah, if you don't mind hopping in after this, possibly. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Zero, what else would you like to tell us about the Raptor, about its capabilities and what you love most about how it performs, or anything about this incredible bird you have here?
Yeah, so it's the first operational 5th gen fighter in the world. Was declared combat capable, I believe, in 2005. Definitely my favorite part about the jet is the maneuverability. The flight control system on the jet is really second to none. It's the best maneuvering jet really in the world, and it makes for a lot of fun when you're training for dogfights. So that's definitely my favorite part of flying the airplane.
Can you tell me a little bit about Super Cruise and what that is and how you use it? A little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So F-22 is capable of Super Cruise. So basically what that means is we can have sustained airspeed, sustained supersonic airspeed in military power, which means that the afterburners are not actually lit. So can have the ability to for sustained supersonic flight without using all of the extra gas required with the afterburners.
And that's unusual for an aircraft of this type, I believe,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's. In doing my research, I saw that. I thought people might want to hear about that too.
Still uses more gas than flying at max range airspeed, but definitely a significant amount less than using the afterburners. So.
Well, that's great. Do you have any local family or any local connection to this area here?
I do. Yeah, I was actually born in Chino, California. Lived in Chino Hills till about 3rd grade, and then moved up to San Luis Obispo, California. That's where
great.
I grew up.
So are you seeing family while you're here, or getting together with family?
Family friends come
great.
down to the air show, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, good. Well, I hope you enjoy your time in Los Alamitos. We look forward to seeing both you guys in the air. I'll be catching you departing on whatever day you're departing. I don't know if you want to share that, but whatever day you're departing, hopefully the two of you will go out together and do a nice little unrestricted climb or something for us.
yeah, we can do that.
I could tell you what, there'll be people over in the park right over here. There's a park called Arbor Park right there. And when you guys are departing and banking, there's a whole bunch of photographers there right now. And they'll be looking for something, if you can, do something fun.
Yeah.
Whatever you think it might be. Unrestricted climb comes to mind, but you tell me. All right, do you mind hopping in the frame real quick, Raz? I just wanted to talk to you about your aviation photography stuff. Thank you very much for your time too. I really appreciate it, and we all do. I know you have a little bit of an aviation photography background. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and about things you might do in your performances that you know are going to appeal to aviation photographers?
You bet. Grew up going to air shows. Got inspired to fly, going to my hometown air show in Iowa. And once I was in high school, saved up money from my high school job to buy a camera and a lens and start going to air shows around the Midwest. Figured I had most of these routines committed to memory, so might as well take some pictures. I was very fortunate. Met some folks from World Air Show News magazine. They brought me on as a contributor, so wrote articles and took pictures at air shows for that magazine. And did that all the way up until college, and loved aviation photography. Hopefully I can still speak the lingo. Now when I'm flying, anytime, I can see in the cockpit when I'm really getting good vapor. Out of my peripheral vision, I'll see the vapor puffs, and it always makes me smile because I know there's some cameras looking at it. And just like you said, as much afterburner and flare and vapor we can get, I love it because of my aviation photography days. So.
Oh, that's I just love to hear that, and I know everybody else will love to hear that too. So I like that it puts a smile on your face.
Oh yeah.
If you actually see when you're doing vapor, you see that somehow, and you know you're doing it at the time.
Yeah, sometimes just over the beach on our way in, there was so much vapor on the jet, it was basically engulfing the canopy, and it's it's a good vapor day.
Oh, so yeah, you have it engulfing the canopy. Wow. See, I haven't got a shot like that.
It's quick puffs, quick burst, but you see the vapor out there.
Yeah. So. Does the Raptor have any better capabilities for vapor than other aircraft? Because I know each aircraft's a little different in how it can create vapor. At least I've been told that. Is there anything to that?
It is. I think the Raptor's good with overall surface area, looking for that pressure change from above and below the wing where that vapor really occurs with that rapid condensation. So I think the Raptor's good, especially anytime we're doing a vertical pull. That seems to be the money where we get a lot of vapor on the jet. We don't get quite as much as some jets on our high speed, so just airframe aerodynamics of the F-35 and F-18 seem to get more of the cone effect. It has to be very humid for us to get that, but we've gotten it a couple times. And we're careful with how close we're going to the sound barrier based on how quickly the Raptor can accelerate and go Mach 1. So we maybe have a little bit more of a pad there, but I'd say any of our aggressive pitch out or vertical climb maneuvers, that's really where we see the most vapor on the jet.
Well, I imagine being over the beach, you're expecting a fair amount of vapor this week and this weekend?
That's the hope.
Yeah, is over an ocean better for vapor than anywhere else? Does that have anything to do with that?
It seems to be. Humid environment here in Southern California is just perfect. We'll actually look at the humidity before we brief to see, is this going to be a good vapor day? Some days it's very dry and you know you're not going to get much, and then some days surprise you. Or on a rainy day where we know there's a lot of mush in the air, it tends to be pretty heavy for us.
Just a couple more questions, then I'll definitely let you go because I appreciate all your time. When you're looking at humidity, what are you looking for? When you see a certain number for the vapor, what are you looking at?
That's
When
a
you see it
good
60% or 50%, I have no idea.
A lot of times we see 50%, we get decent vapor. Anytime we get up close to the 70s, it gets pretty good. And then there's some days we check that forecast and we expect very little vapor based on that percentage, and then next thing you know, the jet's getting a lot. So I've learned not to trust it 100%. Sometimes you just never know how much vapor you're going to get, but yeah, the higher we get, the better. So.
And just kind of a sort of a last sort of thought is afterburner too, and how you, if you know when you're, I guess you know when you're doing that for the photographers. Is there, when you go into afterburner, is there a certain thing you do, certain button you push, a little bit about afterburner and photography?
Yeah, so we have a stop on the throttles, so two throttles controlled with the left hand. There's basically a barrier there, and you have to push forward over this barrier to go into afterburner, so that anytime you're aggressively maneuvering, you can feel that you're pushing into afterburner. So we'll make sure we lead turn any of our banking maneuvers or any maneuver we run afterburner. We lead turn and get the throttles in burner, so that when we actually make the pass, we've got max AB selected. Again, want the noise
and that's when you get that smile on your face like you have right now, right?
Absolutely.
When you're doing that afterburner. So I really appreciate that. Well, just in closing, is there anything we didn't talk about you'd like to talk about? Anything you want to say maybe to the Long Beach Aviation, Army Airfield Aviation Spotters group?
Absolutely.
Or anything you'd like to conclude with?
First and foremost, thank you to everyone in the community for hosting our team for the first time ever at this air show. We're thrilled to be here. And we hope we're going to see a lot of folks out at the air show or out here at Los Alamitos. We're here to share the F-22, and we'd love to meet you, shake your hand, and talk to you about the aircraft. So.
Brought up one final thought. Will you be at the beach shaking hands, or do you have time to get there between here and there and get back?
We're hoping to. We don't have our schedule yet, but we're hoping to get over to the beach, the whole team, to meet the crowd.
Well, on that note, how about if I just hop over, shake your hand, and say thank you very much. I'm just going to sneak over here. Hopefully we'll still be in the frame. Thank you so much.
Good.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah, and I'm just so thrilled to meet you. I follow what you do like so many people, and I admire what you do greatly, and thank you for your extraordinary service.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you got it. All right.
Appreciate it.
See you later, everybody. All right. Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, my pleasure.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. No, it's mine. Do you mind if I just get someone to snap a picture of me and you right here?
Be happy
Then I'll
to.
be done with you. I know you guys are probably seem like you maybe be waiting for us to get the heck out.